So I have some mixed feelings about what I'm going to be talking about today. One part of me is happy about it, another part of me is sad about it, another part of me is angry about it, another part of me is disappointed in a weird way. So let's just sit down, finally talk about what's going on. This is such a big video that I've had to take notes, so forgive me if I'm going to be pausing for a moment each time because MatPat has just uploaded a 25-minute long video on his channel. You would think, wow, that must be a FNAF theory to be that long. No. It's his retirement annunciation. MatPat will not be running Game Theory or any of the Game Theory channels from March 9th. This is exactly what I feared. I didn't make a video talking about it at the time, because at the time I didn't make these kind of videos. I was doing purely gameplay stuff, and it's only in the recent months I've adapted to this style inclusively. I'm still doing gameplay stuff, but much more sparsely now, because I'm just so tired of editing, and I think that's why I've switched to this style. It gives me a break from editing, I can do this for a few months, and then I'll start reintegrating gaming videos, like I started doing shortly before I got sick near the end of the last year. So that aside, let's just get into it. MatPat is quitting. Each channel will have a new host: Game Theory, Film Theory, Style Theory, Food Theory, and Game Theory Live. Game Theory Live, he says he's going to stay on until somewhere during the summer, where he will leave. However, his last video will be on March 9th, assumably on the Game Theorist channel, before he just tucks and rolls and lets other people take over. His reasons for this are a bit like Tom Scott's. He doesn't actually say his reasons in the video. He just says it's a bit like Tom Scott or Stampy Longnose or this guy's video or that guy's video or Captain Sparkle's video, and then just doesn't actually really go into much more detail. So it forces you to go and watch those videos. Lucky for you, I don't have much to do with my life, so I've already seen these videos, and I can kind of get a grip of what he's trying to say, even though he doesn't say it. He's been doing this for 15 years now. He's been doing it for a third of his life. He's 37, and he's tired. He doesn't want to keep making this content. He still likes this content, he still likes his community, but he wants a change. Again, he doesn't specify this, but it becomes apparent as the video goes on that this is what he's implying. He also implies that he wants to be able to spend more time with his wife and his child. So all of that makes me think, yeah, you know what, yeah, good for you, MatPat, go on. You know, venture on into the new world. However, another part of me is sitting here thinking, these channels will die. If you go up to anyone and ask them to name any person from the Game Theorist channel, 100%, every time, the first person they'll say is MatPat. Unless they're a simp and the first person they say is the person behind the Game Theory Live videos, or they're just strange and say Stephanie in a maybe concerning way. Or maybe they say it in a generous way. It really just depends who you ask. But my point is that almost always they will say MatPat. Because even though none of those channels have a face on them, on their profile pictures, you go to watch them because you know that you're going to be greeted by MatPat's voice. And these new hosts, I'm just not attached to, and I'm not sure that the internet is. It's not like we haven't seen these hosts before. We've seen them in videos and they've had some funny moments, but that's when they're interacting with MatPat. On their own, they're just dull. And it seems like a lot of the internet agrees with this. Along with this, we've also actually seen these people attempt to host these channels before. For an example, we had when MatPat was sick on Game Theory, the new host for Game Theory actually did some of the shorts videos. They performed worse than normal shorts, and I went through some of the comments, and most people were just like, where's MatPat? Who's this guy? Just some random bloke on Game Theory? What the hell? No one really cared. And this isn't me trying to be disrespectful to the new hosts. I'm sure that they're all lovely people, but I don't hold any attachment to them, and I haven't seen any proof that anyone on the internet holds any attachment to them either. So that does give me some concerns that the channel will die. Let me correct myself, these aren't concerns. I am quite confident that these channels will die without MatPat. people go to watch these videos because they want to watch a MatPat talk about things they're also passionate about. People don't watch a Pokemon video because it's just another film theory upload. Mostly because everyone knows what Pokemon is, so they know if they like it or dislike it. But more importantly, they watch it because they know that MatPat's going to be talking to them. And MatPat's going to be talking to them about something that they are passionate about. So they can share this connection with MatPat. And these other people, yeah, they might be passionate about these things. And they might make some new fans who develop connections to them. But it's not going to be the same as the majority of the audience which has got this connection to MatPat. And I'm not confident, I don't really think at all, that they will connect to these new hosts. MatPat will still be writing a lot of these videos. He's still going to have an impact on the channels. He describes himself as Fat Granddad, which you don't really see, but he's happy to see you. And I don't buy that at all. I buy that he values his audience. That's evident. But I don't think we'll really be seeing much more of MatPat after March 9th, besides from Game Theory Live. You know, he might make the occasional appearance on Game Theory Live, but I think this is like segmenting MatPat out entirely. You know, there'll be like a new setup for where they're recording these. The videos will end up being written in a different way. MatPat's not going to be a part of it. You're going to have new hosts. It's going to be like a different channel doing the same thing that you watched. And that just doesn't work. I don't think that transition is healthy for the channel, and I don't think that any of those channels will really survive it. Style Theory and Food Theory already took huge difficulties from their startups because it wasn't the type of content which MatPat's audience would watch. They were all gamers and nerds. Admittedly, Food Theory did well because he started it up by talking about things that were popular, like Chuck E. Cheese, and talking about things which his fans would have liked, like Five Nights at Freddy's. In fact, he connects Five Nights at Freddy's and Chuck E. Cheese together to make people watch the Chuck E. Cheese videos. You might not have initially watched it. They're very well written for the connections that they make to draw in their audience, but now we're reaching a point where Food Theory just talks about things which his audience aren't asking. The videos still perform well, but it's because it's in a small margin. The margin for people making videos talking about food isn't as big as the margin for people making videos about films, movies, video games, all of this stuff. Films and movies are the same thing. Films, TV shows, video games, that's all a very much larger, very different audience than food. And even smaller than food is style. No one goes onto YouTube and types in, "Do I look cool dressed in my Bugatti jacket?" But MatPat is making videos on Style Theory which talk about this. I personally, this is just my personal opinion, and it might not have performed as well, because this is again a very small margin, a small audience, but Space Theory should have been what they made instead of Style Theory. I mean, he literally joked about it in Space with Markiplier Part 2. I think this is just before the Space was cool scene, but it's really funny to me, and I feel like that would have been more fitting since he'd already like kind of mentioned it in another project, and you know, just connect together nicer. But again, people who play video games all day, they're not gonna really be interested in watching MatPat's video on should you shower every day or can high heels kill you. They're just not going to be interested in those things. Sure, there might be a couple who go, haha, that's funny, there's a video game character who throws their heels and cracks his skull open like a walnut. Yeah, I'll watch this. But the majority just won't have any interest, won't have a connection. I want to be supportive to MatPat and be like, yeah, I'm glad that he's going to be able to spend more time in his own life with his own family doing the things he wants to do. But I know that for the channels, this is the end. They're not going to survive without MatPat. It's different channels doing the same thing. That's the best way I can describe it, because with MatPat gone, everything will end up changing. And I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years' time, you don't even recognise the channels anymore. They got these new stylized logos. The banners are completely different. The videos editing style is completely different. All the shorts are done with AI. I don't have much confidence in these channels surviving, and that's sad. That makes me sad, because I like these channels, and I liked MatPat's videos. And this really makes me sad, because I was having a great day today. I was in a really happy mood. I was actually almost like finding a moment of inner peace kind of thing. Then I had to watch this video and just have my entire day ruined. And that disappoints me. And this is where I've got this weird cycle of, I want to be happy for MatPat, but I'm sad that the channels will die, and I'm disappointed that I've had to hear this news, because it's sad. I'm disappointed to be upset about something that I'm passionate about. So I've got this weird loop of emotions, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this change. But regardless, his final video will be coming out on March 9th. It will probably be in like the late hours kind of thing, so like 1 a.m, 2 a.m. kind of thing, which will probably actually be March 10th for me. He hasn't given an actual time, but I will stream myself reacting to MatPat's final video before I unsubscribe from the channels. But my act of unsubscribing isn't this act of vengeance, a vendetta against MatPat for leaving. I want to be happy for him for being able to spend time doing the things he wants to do, but these channels are going to change entirely without him. It's not going to be the content I subscribe to them for. I'd subscribe to these channels because I like MatPat and I enjoy watching MatPat. Without MatPat, it's the channels feel hollow. You can tell this when you're watching a video. You can tell if a person behind the video is passionate about their content or not, and that's what keeps you watching it. If they're passionate about their content, you feel a connection with them and the content they make, and that's what keeps you watching. Meanwhile, if they don't care, if they're just like, "What's up, everybody? Welcome to my video. Something happened. Yeah, that's kind of mid. Real." It's just, there's no connection. You don't care about watching it, and you click off and watch something else which you'd rather watch because you're more passionate about it. And that's what's going to happen with these new changing channels. I'm literally referring to them as new channels because they're not the channels which I subscribe to, which I watch. They're going to be different, and I'm not interested in it, so I will be unsubscribing, and I will do that live, but I will also in that live stream first not just be thanking MatPat for essentially raising me, but I will watch and react to his final theory to pay almost like a homage to him. Because I do respect MatPat. The grind he's put into YouTube to make this content for 15 years at such a high quality is incredible. And just the wisdom he's managed to put into me and so many people I know who grew up watching MatPat is incredible. So thank you, MatPat. But these aren't the channels I'm interested in watching anymore. So when MatPat leaves, I'll leave too. I don't know if I actually addressed this earlier. I think I half mentioned it and then stepped off it to talk about another point, but this is exactly what I was concerned about maybe about a year ago, I think. Yeah, I think it would have been about a year ago. It was around last Christmas time. Because I can remember I was going to do my Christmas shopping. I was sitting on a bench watching the video. And I didn't make a video about it because at the time I wasn't doing this style of content. But I did post onto my Discord saying that with MatPat selling off his channel to a new company, that I was concerned that MatPat would leave the channel and that then it just wouldn't be the content which we all came to watch, which we all watch those channels for. And a lot of people in my Discord agree with this. A lot of people in my Discord I know watch MatPat for MatPat. They don't even watch Game Theory. They refer to it as watching MatPat. And that's what I've just done there. It's a perfect example. I don't think, oh, should I watch a film theory video later? I think, I wonder if MatPat has uploaded anything recently. Because that's what the connection is. The connection is to the host. and I don't have that connection to the host. I don't know anyone who has a connection to the host, and the internet doesn't seem to have a connection to the host. So, as sad as I am to say, I don't think these channels will survive without MatPat. But I'm just essentially looping what I keep trying to say in this video, and this video is already about 15 minutes long, so I'm going to end this off here. I'd love to see what you guys are thinking in the comments. I'll be talking about it in the comments, I'll be talking about it on my Discord, link in the description. And I just want to say, don't send any aggressive or angry messages towards MatPat or the new hosts or anyone on the team. MatPat deserves to be able to move on with his life and to do things he's more passionate about. You know, he wants to move on from making these videos, and that should be respected. The same way that these new hosts just want to host these channels, do their jobs, and show that they're passionate about these very large roles that they're being passed on to now. And again, that's not anything wrong either. So, no one's really to blame for this. So, you know, just don't go being aggressive or violent to anyone involved in this. But, you know, share your thoughts in the comments, share it in my Discord, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, just thank you for watching. I'm sorry this is a long talking video, but there you go. MatPat's quitting. That makes me sad.